It's tough not to feel for these kids, it really is. You're basically watching dreams be crushed before your eyes. And I totally get how big this tournament is in this country, especially when it's played on home soil. It's so easy to get swept up in my opinion, it's some of the most entertaining, fun hockey you can watch all year. And the play of the team and some of the decisions made are absolutely fair game for criticism. But like I said, these are kids who just got their dreams crushed in front of an entire country and more, and they played their absolute hearts out. It's just that this team just wasn't it, plain and simple. So I hope people go easy on the kids themselves while still being free to question some of the play in the tournament, because Team Canada's motto throughout this tournament was undisciplined. And it started to become clear after the Latvia loss for some people the second the roster was announced that this Team Canada just wasn't it. And then it became even more apparent after the loss to the US on New Year's Eve. The goaltending, especially Carter George, could only mask so much for so long. And it's crazy because last year, quarterfinal, last few seconds was the Czechia dagger. And this year, eerily similar except for a few more seconds left on the clock. Same opponent, same round, same ending. And fitting that it's discipline in the end that bites Canada. But that's far from the only thing people are discussing when it comes to this team. Whether it's the missing players, let me rattle off some names for you. Beckett Seneca, Zane Parekh, Carter Yakimchuk, Andrew Crystal, Michael Misa, the list just goes on. And the players left off the roster is always a storyline when it comes to this tournament for Team Canada, but this year just felt mega amplified, more than any other I've seen. And at the end of the day, when push came to shove, it was warranted with the lack of finish we saw from this Canadian team, especially in contrast to a team like the Americans who were just wheeling and dealing their way through this tournament. The criticism of roster construction and even usage with the guys they had is greater than I've ever seen it. And speaking of that, the coaching is taking a ton of flack here. I don't want to go in and pile on here. I'm sure they feel heartbroken about how this tournament went, but needless to say, I think they've got to make a change for next year. Personally, I wasn't a fan of hearing Coach Cameron say he had no regrets about anything in this tournament, and I feel like this tweet from Wyatt Arndt perfectly sums up why that rubbed me and I'm sure a lot of other people the wrong way. Then there's the constant mixing of the lines, the canceled practices. Look, I'm not there. I don't know how they were feeling, what was going on. Coach said they were exhausted, but from the outside, the amount of canceled practices is kind of wild and I think sensically a talking point. But hey, it's over. Nothing they can do now. Tournament is still great. I feel for the Canadians in Ottawa who were hoping to see Canada go far here, but there's still some really good hockey to come here. Those two semifinals tomorrow should be awesome. I'll be watching and hoping for a 2026 bounce back from Team Canada. It's in the US next year, Minnesota. Hoping to see Gavin McKenna and Zane Parekh run the show there. That'll do for this one. Give me your thoughts on Team Canada, what they need to do for next year, and on the teams remaining in this tournament. It's not over just because Canada's out. I'm disappointed Latvia's out. They were really fun to watch. Even though they beat Canada, I was having a really fun time watching them. The 4 teams left are really fun. Can underdog Czechia take out the big bad Americans? And after losing their opening game to Canada, the Finns have completely flipped their game around. Can they outduel Sandin Pellikka, Wielander, and some of the stars on Sweden? As usual, thank you so much for watching. If you want more World Junior content, please let me know. I'll see you in the next one.